Welcome to the story of liberty. George Washington Carver was born a slave during the Civil War, possibly in 1865, but there are no records to confirm this. Within a few weeks, his father, who belonged to the farm next door, was killed in a log hauling accident. Shortly after the Civil War, while still an infant, George, with his mother and sister, were kidnapped by bushwhackers. Moses Carver sent friends to track down the thieves and to trade his best horse to retrieve them. The thieves only left baby George, lying on the ground, sick with the whooping cough. George never saw his mother and sister again. Illness claimed the lives of two of his other sisters, and they were buried on the Carver farm. George and his older brother Jim were raised in Diamond Cove, Missouri, by Uncle Moses and Aunt Sue Carver, a childless German immigrant couple. In poor health as a child, George stayed near the house helping with chores, learning to cook, clean, sew, mend, and wash laundry. His recreation time was to spend time in the woods. George worked his way through school, and eventually he ended up teaching on the staff at Iowa State College. In the fall of 1896, George surprised the staff at Iowa State College by announcing his plans to give up his promising future there and join the Institute in Alabama. The staff showed their appreciation for him by purchasing him a going-away present, a microscope, which he used extensively throughout his career. George assembled an agricultural department at Tuscany, and he visited nearby farmers and would show them farming techniques such as crop rotation, fertilization, and erosion prevention. Carter noticed that the soil was depleted due to years of repeated cotton growth and produced very poorly. During his time, an insect swept through the South, destroying cotton crops and leaving farmers absolutely devastated. George showed the farmers the benefits of crop rotation and planting different things such as peanuts, which replenished the soil with nitrogen. Farmers heeded Carver's advice, but soon had more peanuts than the market wanted, as peanuts were primarily used as animal feed. George determined to find more uses for the peanut to increase the market for them. Carver discovered and popularized hundreds of uses for the peanut. He did the same for the sweet potato, the pecan, the soy pea, the cowpea, the wild plum, and okra. A partial list of items derived from the peanuts were compiled by the Carver Museum at Tuscany. Some beverages included blackberry punch, cherry punch, and lemon punch, peanut punch, and a beverage for ice cream, evaporated peanut beverage, dry coffee, instant coffee, and 32 different kinds of milk, including dehydrated milk flakes and buttermilk. Foods he developed were peanut butter, salted peanuts, peanut flour, peanut flakes, peanut meal, butter from peanut milk, breakfast food, cheese, cream cheese, crystallized peanuts, curds, potato nibs, golden nuts, and pancake flour, just to name a few. But how did George think to make all of these wonderful things just from simple farm ingredients? He prayed every time he entered his laboratory, which he named God's little workshop. He credited divine inspiration for giving him ideas regarding how to perform his experiments. In the summer of 1920, the Young Men's Association of Blue Ridge, North Carolina, invited Professor Carver to speak at their summer school for the southern states. Dr. Willis D. Weatherford, president of the Blue Ridge, introduced him as speaker. With his high voice surprising the audience, Dr. Carver explained humorously, "I always look forward to introductions as I always learn something about myself." He continued, "Years ago I went into my laboratory and said, 'Dear Creator, please tell me what the universe was made for.' And the great Creator answered, 'You want to know? Too much for that little mind of yours. Ask something more your size, little man.' Then he asked, 'Please, Creator, tell me what man was made for.' Again the Creator replied, 'You are still asking too much. Cut down on the extent and improve on the intent.' And so I asked, 'Please, Creator, will you tell me what the peanut was made for?' 'That's better, but even then it's infinite. What do you want to know about the peanut?' 'Mr. Creator, can I make milk out of the peanut?' 'What kind of milk do you want? Good Jersey milk or just plain boarding house milk?' Good Jersey milk, he replied. And then the great creator taught me to take the peanut apart and put it together again. And out of this process came forth all of these products. Among the numerous products displayed was a bottle of good Jersey milk. 3.5 ounces of peanuts produce 1 pint of rich milk, or 1 quart of raw skim milk, called boarding house or Blue John milk. On January 21, 1921, at the request of the United Peanut Growers Association, George W. Carver addressed the U.S. House Ways and Means Committee in Washington, D.C., regarding a proposed tariff on imported peanuts. George expounded on the many potential uses of the peanut as a means to improve the Southern economy. Initially given only 10 minutes to speak, George Carver so enthralled the committee that the chairman said, "Go ahead, brother. Your time is unlimited." George spoke for 1 hour and 45 minutes, explaining the many food products derived from the peanut. If you go to the first chapter of Genesis, we can interpret very clearly, I think, what God intended when he said, "Behold, I have given you every herb that bears seed. To you it shall be meat." This is what he means about it. It shall be meat. There is everything there to strengthen and nourish and keep the body alive and healthy. The committee chairman asked Carver, "Dr. Carver, how did you learn all these things?" And Dr. Carver replied, "From an old book." "What book?" asked the chairman. Carver replied, "The Bible." The chairman inquired, "Does the Bible tell us about peanuts?" "No, sir," Carver replied, "but it tells us about the God who made the peanut." I asked him to show me what to do with the peanut, and he did. On November 19, 1924, Carver spoke to over 500 people at the Women's Board of Domestic Missions. God is going to reveal to us things he never revealed to us before if we put our hands in his. No books ever go into my laboratory. The thing I am to do and the way are revealed to me the moment I am inspired to create something new. Without God to draw aside the curtain, I would be helpless. Only alone can I draw close enough to God to discover his secrets. On March 24, 1925, Carver wrote to Robert Johnson, an employee of Chesley Enterprises of Ontario. This is what he wrote. "Thank God I love humanity. Complexion doesn't interest me one single bit." On July 10, 1924, George Washington Carver wrote to James Hardwick. This is what he wrote. "God cannot use you as he wishes until you come into fullness of his glory. Do not get alarmed, my friend, when doubts creep in. That is old Satan. Pray, 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 oh my friend. I am praying that God will come in and rid you entirely of self, so you can go out after souls right, or rather, have souls seek the Christ in you. This is my prayer for you always." Thank you for joining us at the Story of Liberty.